And of course, the minute I come out here, turn the camera on, the wind wants to pick up, but whatever. So, welcome back everyone. There are a lot of reasons that people subscribe to my channel, and I would say 50% of those reasons are right here in this Powerstroke. I would wager that easily half of my subscribers are because of this damn thing. Probably more like 2/3. A lot of people have subscribed to this channel because of this thing, and a lot of the most popular videos on the channel are Powerstroke 6.4 videos. So it only makes sense that those of you that are subscribed and following along and have been watching my earlier videos on this thing, you're naturally wondering, like, hey, what the hell happened? Did you get this thing fixed? Did it blow up? Did you scrap it? Is it a yard ornament? What's going on? So it is not running right. Let me just start with that. It's not running right at all. And for those of you that may not be aware, I have done, it all started, I'm not going to go clear back to the beginning when we got it, but the last series of major problems we've had all started when we put turbos on it because it needed turbochargers. So we struggled through, got turbochargers on it. I put number 7 injector in. I replaced number 3 injector multiple times. I put a wiring harness on it. I've done some other stuff to it in the meantime, trying to get it to run right, and it's just not. It's still skipping, it's loping, it's, smoking to beat all hell. It eats coolant like it's freaking going out of style. And at this point, because the cab mounts were shot and stuff just didn't go back together tight when we did the turbos. I don't know if you can see it here, but like this crack, it's not through on this side of the windshield, but on the inside it is. The windshield's getting cracked like a lot more than it normally does, because Ford windshields always crack, in one spot or other. But this is getting way more cracks in it than it should, and that's because the cab is flexing because the cab mounts are shot. And so then also by extension, the radiator and the intercooler at least are cracked, and the radiator's leaking fluid out everywhere. You can't keep fluid in this thing. It's not worth doing it. It's just too expensive. We don't run it on the highway or anything anymore. It barely moves. It just moves from one spot to another to be out of the way or a mobile workbench. And since this is Dad's pickup, all his tools are in it. So it does move from time to time, but we don't put coolant in it. We don't ever let it run long enough to get hot. So with all the stuff that we've done to it, and it's not just the things I've done on camera, this also has brand new tires on it. We had front end work done about a year ago. We had a whole bunch of front end work done to it. It's got fresh transmission fluid in it. The rear wheels have been replaced. It's got a $2,000 transfer case in it. It's got a $500 steering gear in it. The rest of the truck outside of the motor is fine. And so the plan now is for us to rebuild it. We're going to rebuild the motor and fix the other stuff up, and we'll be good to go. So that's not going to happen for a while. So if you guys are waiting on more Powerstroke videos, you're going to be waiting a little bit, because it's the funds that we have to do that project. They won't be available until probably next year, because we have to sell calves, and then we have bills we need to pay and stuff on the farm side. So we got to wait and see how all that comes out before we can commit to this project. But the reason why we're going to go ahead and rebuild it, because a few years ago we wouldn't have. And some of you are probably thinking, well, why the hell would you rebuild it? It's been a piece of crap. Why would you want to keep it? I'm going to open the hood while I'm talking, because I haven't looked at it. I want to make sure rats aren't building a nest in it. I just put a wiring harness on. That was an expensive damn wiring harness. I don't really want to do that again. So yep, it's all still there. Look at that fancy wiring harness connector. All the brand new insulation on that. That wiring harness was a pain in the ass to put in. But anyway, also the hood blocks the wind. So it's more cost effective for us to rebuild this thing than it is to go and find another truck. Because 2, 3, maybe even 4 years ago, time flies, there was a gap where weird stuff happened and not a lot of people were doing things, and it's just kind of like a miasma, if you will, of just time that we know happened but didn't happen. So anyway, trucks used to be, you could pick up because we go to a 6.7, that's what we were looking at, and you could pick up one of those for about 20 to 25,000. And these were higher mile 6.7s, which is, not the end of the world. But there are a few things we have to have in a pickup. We have to have the 4x4. That is non-negotiable. We were going to go to an F250, or an F350, sorry. We need the 1-ton suspension would help considerably. We're looking at getting a truck to haul stuff with too, but in the meantime, we needed a pickup. And we need a pickup regardless of whether we have a truck or not, so why not get a pickup that can tow? And so we were looking at that. It's got to have the regular bed or the long bed. It cannot have a short bed. And we were also going to move to a crew cab instead of an extend cab because that would just be a lot more convenient and helpful for us. And like I said, you could get those trucks anywhere from, say 180,000 to 220,000 miles. You get those from anywhere from 20 to 25,000, maybe 30 for a very low mile one. And if you looked around and you waited, you were able to get that stuff for even less. And that wasn't uncommon. But fast forward to 2023 and you look and you can't touch one of those trucks under 200,000 miles. You can't touch one of them for less than 25 grand. It's stupid. And if they're lower than that, they've got even more miles on them. And it's like, I don't know what somebody else has done to their truck. Okay? I just don't. And parts aren't cheap, assuming they're available. Parts are not cheap. And if we were to buy a truck for $25,000, $30,000, it had 230 to 50,000 miles on it. And it's like, it's going to be worn out. There's no way it can't be worn out, especially if it's worked. Now, let's say we got lucky and it didn't. Well, there's still stuff that's going to have to be done to it, and we're not that lucky. And we've just sunk all this money into this with, like I said, turbochargers, steering gear, transfer case, tires, wheels, front end work. All that stuff adds up. And this is the devil we know. And so it is more cost effective at this point for us to rebuild this and fix all this stuff on the front and fix the cab mounts and do a few other things to it than to just turn around and get another truck, because we know this truck will pull if it's running right, and we know it'll get good fuel economy when it's not pulling if it's running right, and it starts really good in the cold, which is awesome. It's a very important thing, and it just makes more sense for us to screw with what we have than to not. I priced it out for us to do it, and it's not exact, but my labor is a set price, okay? I'm not, because I am an employee of this operation, I don't charge a special rate for doing mechanic work. That's just part of my job being here on the farm. So my labor is not relevant here, essentially. But about $10,000 to $15,000 will rebuild the motor, fix the cab mounts, replace all this stuff up on the front, and do a few more things. That's what we're looking at. It's 10 to 15 grand. Well, 10 to 15 grand in a truck that you've already had, you know what it's going to do. It's going to have a fresh motor in it. The transmission's fine. The transmission's mint. So we don't need to worry about it. And, well, for $10,000 or $15,000, that's not a bad deal. You can't get a truck for that. And if you do, it needs so much work. And I have been seeing more and more pickups where, and I'm going to say this, it might make some people mad, but I don't care. If you want to lift your truck and space the wheels out and put the sick, dopey dope 30-inch rims on and the stupid paint on chrome, power to you. It's your truck. You do what you want. But when you go to sell your truck, you're asking for however much. You're asking for all the money you've dumped into the damn thing. Well, nobody wants your stupid, sick, dopey dope truck because, well, we can't haul with it. And I'm seeing more and more of those for sale. 7.3s, 6.0s, 6.4s. 6.4s are really the worst about that I've seen. And even some 6.7 Powerstrokes. They're all lifted and they're jacked up and they're stupid. And I got to de-retard, and I don't care if YouTube doesn't like that word. That's the most accurate way I can say it. I got to de-retard the truck before we can even use it. And that's most of the trucks on the cheaper end. And it's like, well, still, if you did that, chances are you also put some stupid tune on it. And now I got to come in and fix the tune because the motor's probably about to blow up. And let's say I fix the tune and the motor's fine, or we get lucky. Well, we're not lucky. So chances are we get a truck like that for cheap. It's got to have all this work done to fix it, to put it back to stock. And the motor's probably about to go. So the minute we go to hook onto a trailer and put a load on it, boom, something gives up. That's what we're likely going to run into. And it's like, well, that's going to be more than just the purchase price of a cheap truck. So this being the devil we know, putting that kind of money into it makes more sense for us. And then we'll have a truck that'll run us pretty much forever. No more than we're going to work this damn thing, and the way we take care of stuff, it'll run pretty much forever. And that's kind of what we're looking at doing. So, no more 6.4 videos for the time being, but it is pretty much a done deal unless we come across just a perfect, completely out of the realm or out of the blue type deal that's just the most amazing thing maybe ever. Unless we come across something like that for a 6.7, we are almost definitely 100% certainly going to rebuild this. I mean, the only thing that would stop us from doing that is if a really weird fluke, catastrophic, unpredictable type thing happened. So you can count on us doing that, and when it happens, I will do my best to put the camera to it and give you guys some helpful information on it. But that is where we stand with the 6.4. And I don't look forward to having to spend that kind of money on this. But, you know, the thing is, when these run right and they pull, and, you know, you pull with them when they're running right, you always want that back because they pull really, really good. It's a shame that they didn't build this motor a little better because it could have been something really spectacular. But we'll fix it up. We'll do it right. We're not going to go crazy with it, but it costs money and stuff's expensive. Vehicles anymore, you're not going to make money on them. It's always a losing proposition. They're a necessary evil, and we just don't have the capital to throw at a 6.7 and fix somebody else's problems right now. We have enough of a hard time fixing our own problems, case in point right here. So that's what we are looking at doing. I sort of apologize for my rant about the lifted trucks. I'm not into that. I never have been. Like I said, if you want to do it to your truck and you're happy with it and you like it, that's fine. But don't you dare go sell that damn thing and ask for, oh, I want $20,000 or $30,000 for it because I spent half the truck's value on stupid crap and I've made it impractical to use. Don't do that. Come on, man. But at the end of the day, it's a free country and it's your truck. Do what you want with it. But still, I sort of apologize for my little rant on that. Not entirely, because I really do not like the lifted trucks. So, yep. Anyway, keep repeating myself. That's where we stand on this. That's what's going on. I have other videos I'm going to focus on for the next few months, and when we come back with the Powerstroke, you guys will be the first to know. So, I appreciate you sticking around for it, and in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can ask them on my older videos, and I'll do my best to help you out, or, you know, you can email me too. In the description of this channel, there is an email address that I have set up specifically for questions. If you guys want to email me and, you know, if you think I can help you, I'll certainly do my best. You can always ask me via the email, and it's in the description of the channel. So, yeah, that's about all that's going on with this. I'm going to go do some other things. You guys take care, and we will see you in the next one.